Hi there traders, welcome to the weekly Forex overview. My name is Chris and this video is brought to you by Admiral Markets. Today's focus on the majors as always, bounce or break decision zones I think for the euro dollar, pound dollar and dollar yen. First of all, be aware of the Christmas special. Check out admiralmarkets.com for more info on that. Some spread rebate on 15 instruments, and also of course be aware of the risk involved when trading foreign exchange and global financial markets is considered high risk. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. By continuing watching this video, you agree with this disclaimer and you are aware of the risk involved when trading. And please visit admiralmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence, and contact the appropriate entity to find out if this video is suitable for you. Wanted to start with the dollar yen 4-hour chart, and I think that the price is in uptrend. But the question is this an ABC correction or the start of a new, larger uptrend? All right, that's the main question, I think. And the main kind of zone to keep an eye on is 113. There is a broken top on the left. There is a weekly pivot point, and it's about halfway to Admiral Keltner channel. All right, those are these purple lines and the blue line in the middle. So that's an important support zone around 113, 113.20. That could send price back up again, up to the R1, R2. These are Admiral Markets pivot points, by the way, and also the Fibonacci targets at 114 and 115. So a turn here could send this back up, and then this is starting to become a little bit more likely that it's a wave 3. If price fails and does not bounce or doesn't bounce enough at the weekly pivot point, just goes sideways and then starts to break below it. A break below the weekly pivot point would, change the character of this upside, and then it starts to look more like an ABC. So pretty important how price responds to that support zone. Now, from a daily perspective, it will be looking like this. Basically, a push up at the weekly pivot point. We could see a retest of the tops in here, and we can see price head up to these levels. But the real breakout potential would be if price breaks above that zone, and then there could be a larger breakout occurring within a larger wave 3. That's possible, but of course we still need that confirmation. And in the meantime, if price does fail and break below the weekly pivot point, then this could just be an ABC, and an expansion of this downside is likely, maybe even down to 110, which would be a new bouncing spot. So a failure, a break below the weekly pivot point and the support trend line could be a breakout to the S1, then to the S2, and perhaps even down to 110. A bounce at the weekly pivot point would at least, seem likely that price retests the resistance zone, which is a, even stronger, of course, resistance level than the support is for the weekly pivot point, and that could be a major decision zone. If price breaks, that could be a huge breakout, and if it bounces, then it depends on how it bounces. Is it a bull flag, or is it something more of an ABC correction like this? And then there could be a bigger correction still to come. So bounce, retest at the top, and then there's a new decision spot up or down or sideways. A break, and there could be a bigger breakout basically to 110. That's kind of the decision I think the dollar yen is facing at the moment on this daily chart. More info on the euro dollar and pound dollar soon, but first of all, just a quick recap of the webinars coming up this week. As always, the same schedule. Monday, Nenet, of course, taking a look at the charts just like Wednesday. I do that on Tuesday and Wednesday, live trading webinars. Thursday, we take a look together at trading counter trend. And also each day, of course, you can check out real-time trading ideas in the morning. Now, with regard to the euro dollar seems to be challenging this weekly pivot point, and that there could be a breakout if it pushes through and above this green weekly pivot point and the long-term moving average here, and there could be a breakout to the upside. In that case, as we've already discussed before, this could be a 5-wave pattern like this, and this could be an ABC pattern to the downside. And so far, this roadmap has indeed been taking place. Now the question is this wave C finished, and are we going to start a new bullish kind of structure and trend? That's the main question. I already mentioned that this zone here, 117, 117.50, could be a bouncing spot, max 116.50. and 116. Those are all actually bouncing spots. 116, 116.50, 117. So far, price is bouncing at 117, but do we get the follow through? So I think measuring that on a 4-hour chart makes sense. If we get a bullish candle on a 4-hour chart that closes above the weekly pivot point and the long-term moving average, and preferably closes above this resistance line around, or lines, right, around 118.10, there should be a bullish continuation. What I would like to see is a bullish candle, a little bit of a hook back, a pullback of that candle, and there's a good chance of a continuation up to the R1 and perhaps the R2. All right. So that's the upside potential. If price, for whatever reason, shows bearish candles here, then there could be still one more extension to the S1 or even down to the S2 at, as I said, 117 or 116.50. All right, that could be possible too. So an important decision zone. Now you understand why I, named the title decision zones, because price is definitely in such a important area. Now, when looking at the daily chart, this could be a wave 1, 2, as I said. Let's see if the wave 2 is finished or not. That will depend. But the wave 2 should not break below this bottom, otherwise it is not a wave 2. That would be invalidating the wave 1 and 2. In that case, if that happens, this could be a bigger wave 4 correction like this. For the moment, it seems more likely that the price will bounce at least to retest this resistance trend line that we have here. And if it breaks above that, there could be a bigger breakout going on the euro dollar. All right, so for the moment, bounce. This decision zone is important. If it breaks, there could be a breakout towards the trend line. The next breakout could see a continuation of the uptrend. Regarding the pound dollar, a bit less kind of clear in my view. Strong bearish price action, but also a pretty hefty, strong support trend line coming in here. So not a big fan of trading the pound dollar at this moment myself. Now I know that some traders are looking probably to trade the continuation of this bearish momentum. Others might be looking for a bounce. I probably prefer the sidelines at this moment. I think that if there is some bullish candlestick pattern, then that could see continuation from the weekly pivot point up to the R1, and then after that up to the R1 and R2. But we're not having that bullish price action. The bearish price action could look good, but price is right at support. So would need to see a breakout, some flag, and a continuation for me to trade that myself. I like to see trend continuations, momentum continuations, breakouts, and bounces. But in this case, I think a breakout probably makes the most sense, either below support like this and a flag and continuation, or above the weekly pivot point to the R1 and above the R1 to the R2. So that's my view for the moment. I think in the longer run, price is testing this support zone. That's a pretty hefty level. If it does break with a good daily candle below it, that could also be a breakout to reckon with, a retracement of that candle, and one more downside to test this particular support zone seems likely at that point. So that would be a bearish breakout on the daily chart. Same is true for the upside break above the R1, pullback continuation could be a good daily breakout too. So daily candles make sense for these trend lines. 4-hour candles could make sense too for a smaller breakout here, or a break flag continue, for instance, or a break above the weekly pivot point, right? So 4-hour daily charts for the moment do make sense. It's a pretty critical level, because if price breaks below or bounces, that could be an important moment for more up or for more downside. The real break to the downside, however, occurs below this bottom in the 130 level. That would be very important. And the upside might be limited to perhaps 137.50-ish, because then it will be breaking this top. I don't think it will go all too much before there's some divergence kicking in. There could be already substantial resistance at 137.50, by the way, for those that are trading this breakout to the upside. All right, thanks for joining. More info at admiralmarkets.com for also checking out all those indicators I showed. You can check it out with MT4 Supreme or MT5 Supreme Edition plugin. Check it out, download it there, and try it out. And wish you all Good trading. Cheers.